welcome back to another Take the Lead podcast. It is your host, Tara Chantel, and we got another bag talk session for you, but this one is something special. We got Matthew in the building. Matthew, from teacher to Emmy Award winning composer, please introduce yourself to the people because you are phenomenal at what you do, and I would love for you to just take the mic right now.
Thank you so much. Hello, my name is Matthew Head. I am a film composer, music producer based out of Atlanta, Georgia. Yes, I was a former teacher and educator. So yes, I'm a regular guy that makes music every day. It's fun.
So fun! Like, you just got such a fun life because music is such a great communication throughout all genres through people. That's how we just stay in touch with each other. But starting as a teacher, what did you used to teach?
So I started teaching. I was a paraprofessional for kindergarten, then first grade. Then I actually taught. My first class was fourth grade. And then after my fourth grade class, I ended up becoming an eighth grade behavior interventionist. So I was the guy with the walkie-talkie, walking around the school, getting all the knuckleheads together, which I loved. And that was my last position, which was my favorite out of all of them. And yeah, so I taught for about 8 years, 7 to 8 years. So it was my career. I was on my way of making it happen, and then music happened.
And then God had other plans for you.
Definitely.
So why was that your favorite out of all of the areas that you taught? The last, you said what was the behavioral?
Behavior interventionist, yes.
Why was that one your favorite?
Because I was able to touch all the students in the school. It was a middle school, and it was actually the middle school I went to. So it was my former middle school, and the middle school was in our old high school. So it was like nostalgic all day long, it was history. And so my main job was to basically connect with kids that had, behavior things going on, need some extra counseling, some extra love. And I get to touch all those kids. And it was like the best job ever. I was telling my wife, my job is to hang out with kids all day and make sure they have a good day. So my goal was to make sure they had a good day. And if they had a bad day, I had to check in with them every morning. And if I see one with a bad day, my main goal was to make sure he had a good day. So, or she.
Wow. So what was the steps in the process of making sure they had a good day?
Wow. So yeah. So basically, most of our kids, the communication was off from between teacher and student. They come from broken homes. They come from areas that some people couldn't connect to. So when they come to school was their freedom, and they used the schoolhouse as a freedom tool. They wanted to act a fool some days. They wanted to be with their girlfriend or boyfriends. They weren't there to learn. They were there to escape. And so my job was to make sure that we kind of bridge both worlds, so to speak. So I was a heavy communicator for them, an advocate for them. I would speak very highly on them and explain to the teachers what is needed for them. I wouldn't allow the teacher or anyone to take them and put them in a situation where it would have been a negative situation, because going back home might not have been as positive, or dealing with their parent at the time might not have been as positive. So my goal was to keep everybody even keeled. So if they come into school and they're off a little bit or they're having a bad day, I'll check in with them and say, hey, let me go talk to your first period teacher. Let me go talk to that third period teacher that I know you guys can get along with. And I will, flip them, switch classes, and make sure their schedules are where they need to be. And make sure they, first thing also too, make sure they ate. A lot of children didn't eat when they come in. So it's 7 o'clock in the morning. I make sure they have food in their stomach. So it was a very unique situation, but I truly adored it so much. It was like it was so rewarding, but also to see those kids grow and prep themselves and checked in on themselves. They'll come in, hey, Mr. Head, I'm good today. Are you good today? I'm good today. All right, cool. or if they had a bad day. Hey, Mr. Head, I had a bad night last night, or so-and-so pissed me off, or something happened, then I can teach them and walk them through it. So it was a really, really, really fun job for sure.
Wow, it's so meaningful. Like that role that you had on all the students' life. I know you just left such a imprint on their hearts.
Yes, I didn't want to leave them. Like my last day was full of tears and anxiety, and I remember my last day like it was yesterday. It was December 20th. It was right before winter break or Christmas break, and I left my job to continue working on the show I was working on at the time, and the pain that I had to leaving them was tough because I built this relationship with them. And also too, I was 8th grade, so I had relationship with these kids from 6th grade. So I've had them 3 years in my building, and for me to follow them, from the 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade, and it was tough to say goodbye to them. But I kept in touch with them. A lot of them, they graduated high school. Some of them doing very well. Some of them are still struggling on some things. But it was really cool to get letters and notes and emails and phone calls. I get random Twitter messages from some of them and Facebook messages from. So it's really cool to still be connected to them, to some of them.
That is phenomenal because a lot of students and a lot of children need that positive role model, especially like a masculine energy around them, especially in the schoolhouse, to protect them and truly care. Like you out here caring for folks. That's a whole different type of energy.
Yeah, so I mean, I come from I had a very heavy male influence in my life. I had a wonderful father, still do. My father's my best friend. I talk to him 2 or 3 times a week, 2 or 3 times a day sometimes during those days we talk. I have an older brother who's 7 years older than me, so I was always considered the baby out of the bunch. And I was a football player, I was a sports head, so I had a really inspiring football coach that really, had a heavy influence on my life from the age of 7, 8 years old to 40 to 38. He passed away last year, a couple years ago. So I've been, I've had that influence, and it's my duty. I have a little boy myself, so it's my duty to be that positive light instead of just hoping it happen. I have to be an example more than anything.
And a lot of folks don't understand what they're missing by having such a positive influence, especially like a positive role model. How important is that to have like a true father figure in your journey and on your pathway as becoming a man?
Oh, it's extremely important. My father taught me how to be a person, a human. My mother and my dad was married for 25 years. They ended up divorcing when I was in college. But as a Black man growing up in Marietta, Georgia, in the South, I needed that extra push. We needed the extra push. My dad he's a hard worker, still is to this day. He taught me lessons. My dad never hit me. He was very important that he never touched me. Now, my mom, that's a whole nother story. But my father, I got some whoopings, but my father never touched me. My father never yelled at me. He would always sit me down and have one-on-one conversations. Almost talk too much, but I will always listen. He taught me how to love a woman. He taught me how to treat a woman. He taught me how to drive my first car. He talked to me about sex. He taught me about everything that I needed to know about credit. I mean, he was very influential at that level. And then from carrying that on to, teachers I had and my football coach, James Richards, he was the same way. He was, he taught me dreams. That was the first person to taught me how to think outside of my city and think outside of my home. My dad was more on the do the right thing all the time, but my football coach was on some, you're bigger than this football field, you're bigger than this high school, you're bigger than this city. So his main aspect was be somebody, be something bigger than than what you are. And so I took all of that, and I also had a big brother. My big brother was my protector. So he was always the one that would protect me. He would taught me how to fight, taught me how to protect myself, taught me how to not be bullied, and he was that guy. So I had the best, I had all three worlds in front of me. And so I kind of use that as to hopefully inspire others.
That is truly a blessing. And thank you for sharing that, everything that you learned from your father, like truly taking us through that journey from just talking about sex to credit, because most children stay in a single parent household and they don't get this example. What did you hope and pray that the students took from you? Like, what did you leave in them while you were around them for those years?
I wanted to be a positive light to them. Like I said, I know some of them came from dark spaces. And I have friends and family, and even I had my own personal places that we've been through. So I just want them to know that I was safe, and I am okay to be around and trust. Also, especially my 8th graders at the time, I went to the same school. I'm from the same city that they're from. So I wanted them to see that you don't have to be what society or what this city or what the state of Georgia tells you to be. You don't have to be a ball player. You don't have to be a dancer or a rapper or a singer. You can be a behavior interventionist. You can be a film composer. You can win an Emmy. There's a lot of things you could do because I was a true example. I mean, I would tell them every day, I walk these halls, like literally 30 years ago or 20 some years ago, I was walking these same halls trying to do the same things you all are doing. And so for me to be back in the same building I taught, I went to school for, was amazing. So I wanted to make sure they see that light for sure.
Keep shining your light, because that is just so positive. Like, it's just because you just have such a fulfilling light. That is just so fulfilling, bigger than you could even imagine, honestly. And the way that you transition, because let's talk about what you're just doing in the film world, because I'm a huge fan of all the shows that you have just been producing and laying your gifts on, from P-Valley to Greenleaf to Melissa's Story. I bet the list just continues to go on.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun times.
Come on, and that's the purpose here. We're supposed to have fun. What inspired this transition?
Well, I at a big age, my mother told me the difference between a passion. And she was very, very real about it. And she was a dreamer. My mom was a dreamer. She was, she put me at piano lessons at the age of 5. She was like, you're going to learn something besides a ball and sports. You're going to do something else. I'm going to find that passion, that gift out of you. And piano was my gift. I started playing at the age of 5. I hated it. It wasn't something I loved to do, but it was something that my mother just was very big on, learning something outside of me, learning that skill in art. And it became a very, very, a deep hobby for me. And it was something that literally turned into something I hated to do that I loved to do. But I never saw myself making music for film and television, never saw myself writing songs for television, never saw myself composing or anything. I was just wanting to make music every day. So I made music every day for an hour. I didn't share it with no one. My mom knew, my brother knew. I had one friend that knew, but I kept it to myself. But I always noticed that the music will always open little doors for me. And the first door to open was my education job. I was working at a retail store, and a guy walked in. It was a music store, and a guy walked in and said, hey, I was 21 years old. He said, hey, I'm looking to build a small studio for some kids at a school I teach. I said, okay, cool, let me help you do that. So I built him a little small studio setup, and I said, here you go. And he said, well, can you come down to the school and help set it up? I said, definitely. So I went down to the school, helped him set it up, and as I'm setting up, playing the piano for the kids, and I watched the kids say, wow, how do you do that? So I started teaching and talking to them about piano and why I play piano, and all of a sudden the principal overhears it and offers me a job. And she said, do you have a degree? Do you have this stuff? I would love for you to work here. They've never seen a black man play a piano the way you played it. And I would love for you to be in this building. And I said, okay. So I got a job teaching. I left the retail job that was, at the time terrible in my life. I'm 20 years old to a salary paid position. Like, okay, great. Let's do it. And after I did that, that gift kept opening doors for me. I said, okay, I started to take my keyboard down to school and use what I did at the fake interview to inspire and teach. And I'm using my piano to teach. And all of a sudden, other opportunities started to fall my way. And then next thing you know, I am scoring films. I'm doing all these things. And what I was really doing, I was using music as my vehicle to teach to them. I just like the fact that I could have my name on television to go tell my kids, like, hey kids, this is what Mr. Ed did today. This is woo-woo. And then I won an Emmy. And off of a story, a documentary I scored, and I literally walked into school and said, hey guys, here's my Emmy. And the kids were like, why are you still here? Like, what's the point of you working here? And they didn't know that I'm literally there for them. It was my payment, my check was their happiness. And I was really good with that. I have a very supportive wife and a very supportive family. And I wasn't trying to keep up with the Joneses. I was good. Mm-hmm. So I was like, hey, we're good. Life is good. I'm doing all this to show you that you can do more. So I really was doing it to inspire. And so I trusted that gift. And I think that's what it was that I trusted my gift. It opened those doors for me. And now I can use my gift with my passions. And now it's my purpose. And I tell people all the time, I'll understand what your gift is so you can focus on your passion. So then you can have your purpose. And that's really where I'm at right now in life.
So how did you end up truly trusting this journey? Because every time God called, it's like you picked up and you just showed up. Just how you got offered this job for the students, and then it's just doors, how you said doors just keep opening. How did you surrender to your gift and to truly just go after your purpose?
A lot of prayer. And understanding that inner conscience that we have that tells us right from wrong, that's nothing but God. That's all it is. I think people want to call it conscience. People want to call it gut. That's God. All that, we know when we're doing good, when we're doing bad. So when a random guy that I've never met offered me to come down and hook up a studio, that's God. It ain't got nothing to do with me. It wasn't a homeboy. It wasn't a friend. It wasn't somebody I used to know. It was literally a random person. And when the principal walks in and says, I want to give you this job, or when phone call saying, hey, can you do this project with me? And I don't know who this person is. That's God. He speaks to me. That's how I hear him. And he speaks through people differently. But I know he will randomly give me signs. And I picked up on those signs at a very early age. And those little signs, and I guess my language to God is he used other people that I don't expect to help me. So when I get those random acts of conversation with people, just like the one with you, or, just random things happening, I learned to pay attention to that very closely and follow my gut and follow that consciousness that he's given me. And that's how my doors were open. I think a lot of times, we are afraid of that interaction and afraid of that exposure because we leave ourselves vulnerable to, and I was okay with hearing no's. And I understood that. So once I understood that I'm okay hearing no's, then when those yeses hit, it was easy.
It was easy. You was already building up the capacity throughout this journey, like to have tunnel vision. You got the helmet ready. You was just so ready. And the fact that you just live of service just speaks so much volumes for me. Yeah. The way you're living is of service. Can you just talk more about the importance and just how your heart is of being of service like that?
Everything I do is for others. So one thing I like to say gifts. So my gifts is music. And so I know a gift is when somebody gives you something. So God gave it to me. So I have to give it away. I can't hold it. I can't ask for money for it. I can't ask for credit. I have to literally be able to give it away. So each project I work on, even to this day, I have that mind that I would not receive any money or any payment for this. And so my goal and my job in life is always to give it away if I have to. Once I respect the giving it away, then the gift will automatically open up for me. It will automatically give me everything I need. God will already give me everything I want. Kenny Leon is a director I work with. And the first thing he told me, he said, he left this in my heart very early. He said, God you only owe the opportunity. You only owe the work. You're not owed the money, the value of it. You only owe the work. So whenever the work is coming to you, you're supposed to receive it and give it away. And that's what I do on everything, on every level, from my kids, from the music I work on with my wife, with projects. I literally say yes, because I want to make sure that they know that I'm giving you something, and I'm gonna let God handle everything else. He's gonna handle the paperwork. He's gonna handle the monetary value. He's gonna handle the credits. He's gonna handle it. I just got to be able to do my part so it can happen.
That's a whole nother level of surrendering.
We're so confused because we think that we're supposed to give, and it's completely opposite. Like, we're supposed to give to get. And I just think that I learned with music, because music was my first lesson of giving it away. I didn't care about the money or the fame. I just thought it was cool to do it. And if you want it, here. Because I wasn't trying to be Timberland or Dr. Dre. I didn't see that happening. But I think early on, when we tell our kids, you can, we plant those things in their head, they want to be Quincy Jones or be Timberland or be a Michael Jordan or LeBron James. So they're so selfish with their talent and don't want to give it away because they want to hold it for the fame and for the glory. I was opposite. I was on some like, here, I play piano. There you go. You want me to teach your class? I will teach your class. You want me to go walk around? I'll go walk around. As long as I was giving away my talent, that's all that matters. And everything else happened.
That's the power of how, the new trending topic is like manifestation. Like, that is how you operate as being like a good steward and a good servant. And like, use me, God, like use me so I can leave here empty. And the fact that you're just allowing God to use you, it just speaks so much value.
That's why we're here. We're here for his entertainment, for his glory, and for his word. And I think a lot of people, we get, like I said, we make God our personal servant or our personal God. Make it happen for me. But I'm supposed to bless you some kind of way. I don't know how, but I'm supposed to be honest and upfront and bless you the best way I can. And if I do that, I know for a fact that I'm gonna be okay.
You a triple threat out here. A black man play a piano. That's a whole threat. What inspired you to just pick up and start playing the piano?
Well, my mother, she put me in at 5 years old. I was a kindergartner, and I was a sports person. I love playing basketball and all that good stuff. But she was like, you're going to play basketball automatically because you live in the South. You have brother, you have cousins. I want to teach you a skill. And she put me in piano lessons. And I hated it. Tuesdays at 4:00. It was the most, I still remember it to this day. Hated it. I cried about it. I wanted to hang out with my friends. I wanted to do all this stuff. And I remember at like 8 years old, 9 years old, I played a recital, and I remember playing the song, and I remember how I felt. It felt so good. Like, for some reason, at this one moment in time, it felt like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And I saw my mother crying because I guess she was so proud of what I did. I played for her, at least for her. And that was it. To see her joy, it was like, oh, okay, cool. This is why I'm doing it. So that stayed with me for the entire process of my life, and I just kept doing it.
Wow. And now a whole Emmy Award winning composer. Like just the fact that you are getting this acknowledgement, the fact that you have a whole legacy by just being obedient to the call. Can you talk through us about the process of like producing and composing and scoring for films?
Yeah, it's each process is different. Each project is different. So working on like a show like P Valley, um, or even a show like Boomerang, I did Boomerang as well.
Wow.
It's everything is different. So the first thing I do, I get the scripts. I love to dive into the script and read the script and get my own personal thoughts. I'll take notes on the script, exactly what I feel at the moment as I'm reading it. What kind of tone I'm hearing. I like to give each character their own personal instrument. Like, all right, the lead actress, she'll be piano, and this person be cello. I really just mapped out like that. And then what I end up doing, I love to, I'm almost a bugaboo kind of composer because I would like literally poke the director and producers and ask them all these questions because I like to have as much input as possible before I start writing. And then once I get my little input, I start writing. And I literally will sit at my piano and just literally start writing music and just coming up with ideas and themes and tones and feels. And hopefully they like them. I literally all right, God, I start with a blank slate. I don't try to take stuff I did from the old to the new. Um, I literally just open up the door and say, here, what I'm saying? Let's make it happen. And after that, I do that. We kind of get ideas on what we like, what the director like. I get notes from them. And then once I record everything as far as musically, I go out and find the musicians, and we actually record it in the studio, the strings and if I have all that kind of stuff. It's a very stressful at times process, but it's a fun process. And depending on the project, depending on the stress.
You're a whole genius out here. Like,
No, I won't say I'm a genius. I'm trying my best to keep up, man. For real.
hey, you a genius in your department, in your lane. Because I don't think we are truly aware of the significance that music plays on films.
My first film, I used to make tracks and make beats. After, as I'm working, teaching and working, I will work with independent singers and songwriters here in Atlanta, and I'll make beats and work with rappers and singers, and we do our thing. But all of my music was so filled with instruments, and the rapper like, man, you take all that stuff out. And I was like, no, man, this is part of the process. And so I worked with a film company. They had my CD of music, and they put it in their film. And it was like, yo, this music works for the film. And I literally sat with them, and I composed the music and kind of arranged it around their film. And as I watched that process, it changed my life. I was like, this is it. Forget a songwriter. Let's just, to watch music go with picture and help dictate what the audience is feeling and the emotions, and to help that push that extra lift it needs was incredible. And that right there is what I'm in love with.
Wow, what did that feel like as you seeing the process and seeing it firsthand? How does that feel to just see your art, your gift, on these truly impactful projects like that?
It never gets old, and I am very critical. So if I hear something we watched The Black Church came out a couple weeks ago, and I remember with my wife we're watching, and I was like, oh, there were certain things I didn't like. And she was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, well, I didn't like that note, or I didn't like what I did there. So it's very critical. But the beautiful thing is when my kids see it. Mm-hmm. And my kids I have an 8-year-old and a 4-year-old. And my 8-year-old knows, it's what I do every day. So he tells his friends what I do every day. And so I love to hear him say, Dad, did you make the music for this show? Like, he comes to me every day and asks me if I make music for a certain show he's working, a certain series he's watching at the time, or playing the game and say, Dad, did you make the music for this game? So that's kind of cool that they look for my name and they ask those questions. So that's very rewarding for me, but it never gets old, always surreal kind of moments, but
That's amazing. So how do you balance being a father, a husband in your career and truly living for God?
I know that sometimes I have to take a step back and let God do His work. I have a very, very, very supportive wife. I've known her since I was 15 years old. So she knows my broke and hungry to where I'm at now. We've been broke and hungry to where we're at now. She's seen the whole process, so she very respects it. And then she'll give me my 2 cents when I need my 2 cents. Um, but balance. I'm getting older. I turned 39 about a month and a half ago. So I literally am slowing myself down just because I want to see my kids grow up. And the beautiful thing I told someone the other day, I was like, the pandemic was a blessing for me to sit in my house for a year and watch my children grow up and not be able to go somewhere. It literally slowed me down, tremendously because I couldn't go to studios. I had to work from home and a lot of production stopped. And certain things were like on hold until. Um, so me sitting at home with my kids and watching them grow and talk and learn some things from them was amazing. And so that kind of sparked the extra balance, something I need to work on a little bit more. But like I said, I try to pick up projects that I know that I could benefit from and, be around. I can work from home a little bit more. I try not to do more than 2 or 3 at a time. So I'm still learning the balancing out stage, but and sometimes I just gotta say no, like no, I can't do it, and just call it a day.
And knowing that it's many more opportunities waiting for you on the other side. Right. And that's just so phenomenal, having that support system throughout this journey. How do you keep the relationship so solid and so strong?
Yeah, marriage is real too. Marriage is real. My wife and I are friends. Like when I tell people I married my homie, like real talk.
Homie, literally.
Yeah, I married my homie. So my wife and I never dated in high school. We were friends. We ran in the same circle. She ran track, I ran track, and so I think that was a blessing because we literally had no intimate actions with each other. Never knew, we was cool. And then when I got to college and and we kind of grew up, became adults, we still ran within the same circles and we were still friends. And we remained friends for a long time. And then we started dating and all of a sudden, well, let's go get married. I mean, I like you, you like me, I love you, you love me, and we're cool. Let's just figure it out. And that's our journey has been that way. Like we still are friends. Like we have our nostalgic conversations. When we do disagree, we separate. I come down here, she go up there. And so we keep it open like that. We have a very honest relationship. She does not bite her tongue at all. And so I make sure that I respect that. We come from two different worlds, which is a good balance to me sometimes because I would get a perspective from her that I never felt or never saw, and vice versa. So we keep it, very honest and open. And like I said, I married my friend. Like I tell people all the time, like if something ever happened, that's still my friend. Like know what I'm saying? Like,
you're like, that's the homie. Like that is the homie. And like when you truly like your partner, not love, but like I like being around you.
Yeah, we cool. Like I tell people all the time, we cool. Like and I didn't understand. Like I have some friends, or I had friends that were married, and they were never with their wife or husband. Like why, man? Me and my wife are together. Like we go to the movies. Like we go to the mall together. Like if I'm not going, she ain't going. If she ain't going, I ain't going. Like you ain't going, I ain't going. So because that's my friend. Like we've done so much and we've been through so much. I've seen her ex-boyfriends and vice versa. And so it's like, I was a homie when her ex-boyfriend broke up with her. And same with me. She was a homie when my ex-girlfriend got mad at me and I was like, yo, this what happened. And she was like, girl, she'll tell me when I'm doing wrong and I go back and do it. So and after a while we were like, why we give each other advice when like we might as well just kick it.
Wow.
And that's how our relationship started. I was 21, 22. She was 20, 19, 20. And we literally were like, why don't we just kick it? Like, let's see what happens. And
And
ever
see
since
what
that day, well, and that's like,
Yeah, because then that just adds pressure. I love the way the freedom of it. Like, let's just see how it goes. Like, let's not put so
yeah,
much pressure.
that's how we got married. We got married, like we were dating for a couple of years. Same thing. She was in college. I was, working. I just started my teaching job, and we were just kind of hanging out, dating. Um, and then she looked at me one day and she's like, let's go get married. And I was like, really? I said, you don't want no engagement? She's like, well, you love me, right? I'm like, yeah, I love you. I said, okay. So like, while we doing all this, we were already acting as a married couple.
Yeah.
We're in the house together, doing things together. So we might as well just to the next level. I said, okay, cool. So I had like $1,000 credit card limit. She had like $1,000 credit card limit, and we literally drove to Savannah and got married on the beach. Didn't tell anyone.
Wow.
Like we just drove to Savannah, Georgia, got married, and went back to the hotel and went to sleep. And we woke up the next morning like, did we just get married? We're like, yep, we got married. And we walked around and came home and told our friends and family. They were like, really? It was like, yeah. And out of all of our friends and family, when we did it, everybody was like, wow, you guys are lasting the longest. I'm like, yeah, because we didn't put that pressure on us. And that's one thing that we don't do. Been having kids. We have two beautiful children now. We always stay in our lane and stay humble with that. So we don't try to buy the biggest house or have the fanciest car. We literally just stay in our lane. And she keeps me very humble. I mean, she's very humble with how she moves and quiet on how she moves. So she keeps me quiet. It's the beautiful thing. So yeah, but she's a home girl. I say it all the time.
So compatible. And the fact that y'all not doing it for other people, y'all truly do, like, that's the type of relationship and love what really matters. Like, we not about to have this big wedding for people who truly is shady on the low and then got to spend all this money. Like, that's...
Our whole wedding situation, hotel cost like $800.
And then, like, y'all going strong. Like,
it'll be our 16th year this year. So yeah, we don't, and like I say it all the time, like, we chill. Like after this interview, we go on our little daily walks. We'll go outside and walk around the neighborhood, have our conversation, and then we'll come in the house and cook dinner. And like she is the reason why I'm where I'm at. My mother, my father, and her. Those three are literally the backbone to me. If I wasn't married to her, I don't think I would be where I'm at. And I don't say that to lightly. I really say that strongly because she was not the one that said, do what you want to do or push your dreams. She was the one that said, I got you. She was like, I got you. So she was that person. She wasn't the person like, go be big, go make it. She was like, no, whatever you do, I got you. So when my credit was bad, she had me. When I was struggling to pay a bill, she had me. You know what I'm saying? And she was the first one to buy my first computer for me to make music off of. We were 23, 24, we were just a year married, and my credit was all messed up. And I remember I had to buy a computer to make music because my old computer broke. And she literally said, I got you, and didn't think twice about it. So that's been our relationship. So whatever I decided to do in my career, she's always said she had me, and vice versa. Whatever she want to do in her career, from teaching or opening a new business, it's the same way. So I think that's what we do. We're support more so than pushing. And that's been our relationship. And I think we're good. I think that's how we kind of keep our balance.
Wow. If I got you as a person, like you said, that's a blessing. Like you got a whole person. I got you. Whatever support you need, whatever love you need, without no strings attached, that is the unconditional love that we all need in our life. And the fact that
Yeah.
you said you wouldn't even be the man you are to this day if you didn't have this great one by your side.
I say that very loudly. I know my mother, my father, and Itasha, my wife. I'm not playing because she just pushed me. She made me go for my dreams because I knew she was my safety net. I knew I wasn't impressing her. I didn't have to impress her. I didn't have to do all these extra things. It was literally, I got you. Like, and because I was Matt from high school, like, you're Matt. Like, do what you gotta do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta go to the studio, I got you. Even now, even with the kids, and my schedule gets crazy and I feel guilt sometimes. Like, I gotta go do this, I gotta go leave the house for about 10 hours. And she looked at me and said, don't worry, I got you. And so I try my best to listen and pay attention to her needs way more. And it's helped me a lot. So, I mean, she the homie. I keep saying that she the homie.
That is just truly incredible. Like, firsthand, just the love story itself is so organic, authentic, and it's so incredible. And
Yeah.
I just appreciate you, Matthew, for sharing your gifts with us today, sharing your story. Like, this was just so cool. You just so cool for me.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. It's fun. I love to talk. I talk a lot. I talk my wife heads off. I talk. So, me and my little boy, we constantly talking to each other. So.
But when you got knowledge in what you're talking about, it's like we gotta take notes.
I hope so. I hope that what I'm saying is translating. That's all I tell my kids. I tell my students. I hope what I'm saying is translating. That's all I really care about. You can take these little nuggets. I feel like if I talk so much, you'll take a little nugget and throw it in the back of your head. And Mr. Head said, and I've got a couple emails saying, I remember you said not to do this. And I'm like, well, that's why I said it like 9,000 times so you can listen to it.
Telling you, we picking up what you dropping. We are picking it up. Where can we keep up with you, and what do you have going on next?
So right now, definitely follow me on all social media platforms at Matt Head Music. But you can check my website, www.matthewheadproductions.com, for all the info I'm got going on. I'm working on season 3 of Step Up High Water. I'm the music producer for that. I am supervising all the music for that. That's really cool. Working with Jim Malone, who's the music supervisor. So that's amazing. After that, I got Mahalia coming out very shortly. Robin Roberts presents Mahalia. That comes out April 3rd. And then there's some other things I got, down the road that I really can't speak on too much, but exciting times. I mean, I am truly grateful for these opportunities. I'm just, remaining humble and staying in my lane for sure.
Hey, like, the sky's the limit out here. It's just like, keep having fun while you're doing it. Like, you truly get to have fun living your dreams. So
live your dreams as much as possible. Gifts and passions make your purpose. That's all that really matters.
wow. Thank you, Matthew. And thank you to our Take the Lead listeners for tuning in, tapping in. And I would love for you just to leave us off with just how we can truly pursue our purpose. And I know we sometimes try to look outside of ourselves and we try to find it, but our purpose is like already within.
That gut, that intuition is God. Trust that first. Listen to that. One thing I really want people to understand about passions are selfish, and passions can get you in trouble. But your gifts will automatically open those doors. So one thing about your passion may change. You may be passionate about basketball, football, cooking, kids, but you're really, really good at doing hair. And when you do hair, people love it. So understand that you can always get your gift and your passions and you can make them work together. And that was my goal, and that's what I did. So trust that intuition, trust that gut, and understand that intuition and gut, acknowledge it that is God. That is not a scientific thing. That is the Lord above within you telling you yay or nay. And once you understand that, then he'll speak with you and walk with you and rock with you through your gifts. That's it.
Hey, that is like so powerful, like so profound when you can just truly trust that voice within us all. Like, it's not a joke. So we just gotta continue to not get so distracted out here and be able to be so tapped in and have that solid relationship with God.
Yep, definitely. Don't be distracted. That ain't nothing but the devil.
Right.
For real, ain't nothing but the devil. All that distraction and TikToking and Instagramming and tweeting. That's cool. I use that for entertainment. Like, that's literally what it is. I had to tell my mom the other day to stop watching the news. I'm like, stop watching the news. Ain't nothing, it's all produced. It's all made up so we can watch it and talk about it. You know, it's out the way. You know what I'm saying? So trust your gut. That's really what it is.
Trust that God in you instead of looking outside of it.
Yeah, man. That's all it is.
Thank you, Matthew, so much. Please tell the family I said thank you as well for allowing us to have this time together. I wish you much success throughout this journey. Hey, keep striving. You already doing what you're doing. Just keep doing you.
Trying my best. Thank you so much for having me. It was wonderful. If you need anything, let me know.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Take the Lead listeners, for tuning in, tapping in, and we are going to meet you at the top.